Welcome back, beautiful people, to your majestic comic book related video where I say words and you, the magically delicious, listen. It is I, your crazy Nicolas Cage, your Steward of Gondor, your genius, billionaire playboy, basic YouTuber philanthropist, SuperCliff. And would you kindly hit that like and subscribe button, for every little bit helps in this majestic YouTube world. And today, guys, we are going to be covering DC's brand new, upcoming, Batman-centric comic book event, Fear State. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why not a Batman event? Doesn't DC Comics own, like, hundreds of characters that they can utilize from? Well, no, because fuck you. No, but legit. The Batman property is worth at least a dozen or so countries. But I digress. Now, Fear State is going to play out release-wise similar to last year's 2020's Joker War, where in that crossover event, it set the status quo for Batman and his allies for 2021. Now, before I dip my toes and explain to you guys about Fear State, let me just provide you all with some behind-the-scenes context with regards to Joker War. Because when it comes to Joker War, overall, I enjoyed the story, but I don't think Joker War itself affected Gotham as big as the story maybe wanted it to. And I know for a fact that James Tynion and everyone else who worked on that event knows this to be the case. And that's basically due to, at least in my opinion, the pandemic, along with DC's direction and with Dan DiDio being fired back in 2020, along with the DC 5G basically being sort of merged into Future State and Infinite Frontier. Plus, James Tynion IV has stated that he didn't know prior to finishing Joker War whether or not he would still be in the book. Well, luckily for him and for everyone else, he's still in the book. So yay. Now, basically what I'm trying to get out here is this. I think that Fear State is the story James Tynion and DC originally wanted to tell back in 2020, or at least begin to tell. Hence why almost every single comic book outlet describes Fear State as an event that's a year in the making, because it literally is. So yeah. Since then, Tynion has taken what's happened following Joker War, adding new characters, and essentially taking this year to set up the stage for Fear State. Which, by the way, is a fantastic name for this event. Pretty catchy, it's right to the point, especially since we just had Future State. Now, with all that said, what is Fear State? And what is this event's purpose? Well, check it. Fear State is a horror-themed Gotham City event that unifies plot threads that started in DC Future State and Infinite Frontier. Fear State not only continues the Scarecrow's vision of a fear-controlled Gotham, but also it will continue Mayor Nakano's mission to protect the city by initiating his groundbreaking deal with the Magistrate, a draconian anti-vigilante law enforcement organization, which of course, if you guys have read Future State, then you know that in the supposed, quote, future, the Magistrate will take over Gotham. Spooky. This can't miss event is also the launching point for several new series and plot lines across all Batman family titles, setting up a new status quo for 2022. And the action begins this August. Also, I would like to mention that this event will solidify Jace Fox, Timothy Fox, as the new Batman. And let me rephrase that, because when I say the new Batman, I don't mean that Jace Fox is going to punch Bruce Wayne in the face and usurp the Batman title for himself. What writer John Riley is doing is essentially fulfilling destiny by making Timothy Fox the new Future State Batman, or as I like to call it, the Miles Morales treatment, aka Black Batman, which is cool, and I'm down for that. You know, to bring in some different voices for Batman, create more diversity, and that's really what it's all about. That's what comics is really all about at the end of the day, bringing people together and just telling good stories. So yeah. And also, his Batman suit, Timothy Fox's Batman suit, looks fucking dope. So there's that. Also, side note, if and when DC ever relaunches their Batman and Superman book, I guarantee that the book will feature John Kent Superman and Tim Fox Batman. Just a fun little tiny theory of mine. But yeah, so without further ado, let's talk about those new juicy books that cause fear and panic, but will feature acts of heroism. Thus, let us begin. Now, keep in mind, because these first couple of books are not necessarily Fear State centric, but they are essential, and they act as a sort of prologue for the event itself. Starting off, we have I Am Batman, issue number 1, written by John Ridley, with the art by Travell Foreman. And this book comes out on August 10th, 2021 with a price tag at $4.99. And the synopsis is Future State gave readers a preview of things to come with Jace Fox as the new Batman. But his debut in the core line arrives with a bang. Picking up from the events from the next Batman Second Son, Jace thrusts himself into action when the Magistrate cracks down on Alleytown. And so he has to use his armor he found in the abandoned that word sucks. Next, we have Catwoman issue number 34, written by Ram V with the art by Fernando Blanca. And the Magistrate comes to Gotham, and Alleytown stands as the last place in the city untouched by their totalitarian forces. Surrounded on all sides by law enforcement gone bad and facing a potential invasion by the city's villains, Catwoman finds herself fearing that her quest to keep Alleytown safe could instead lead to its demise. But all is not lost as Batman arrives in Alleytown, breaking his and Selina's vow to give one another a one-year break. Ooh, Dawson's Creek in Gotham. Let's do it. Next, we have Harley Quinn, issue number 6, written by Stephanie Phillips and the art by Laura Braga. On sale August 24th, 2021. And this essentially has Harley Quinn helping out Catwoman in Alleytown and just her shenanigans and whatnot. And this is where Fear State technically officially begins with Batman Fear State Alpha issue number 1, written by James Tynion IV with the art by Riccardo Federici. On sale August 31st, 2021 with a price tag at $5.99. And the synopsis being, the event over a year in the making begins. Fear State settles upon Gotham City, and no one is safe. Overwhelmed by the dual threat of the Scarecrow and Peacekeeper 01, Batman and his allies have been one step behind since the events of Infinite Frontier, Issue 0. And with the arrival of a mysterious anti-Oracle and the return of Poison Ivy, Batman might have more than he can handle. Now, we are hitting the month of September, and we have Batman 112 by James Tynion IV with the art with Jory Jimenez. And the synopsis is Fear State begins. Batman played into the hands of the Scarecrow, who has unleashed a coordinated attack on Gotham City through his manipulation of Simon Saint and Peacekeeper 01. But there are other forces at work with the emergence of an anti-Oracle, spreading fake news across all channels and exciting terror and violence on the streets of Gotham. Meanwhile, Clown Hunter has turned down help from Batman, from Leslie Tompkins, and Red Hood, thinking that he can handle being a vigilante on the streets by himself. Next, we have I Am Batman, issue number 1, The Streets of Gotham City Cry for Justice, and Jace Fox answers the call. With a new and improved batsuit, Jace hits the streets to inspire and protect, as he follows the trail of the voice of misinformation and violence, that being anti-Oracle. And so, can the new Dark Knight counterbalance their plan to inspire armed rebellion in the citizens of Gotham? Can one man inspire a city? We'll find out then. For Batman issue number 113, Ghostmaker reveals a dark revelation about his past connection to Jonathan Crane, while Batman pulls together the pieces of Scarecrow's master plan. Using the Unsanity Collective's technology, the villain plans to detonate a fear bomb in Gotham City. Meanwhile, Clown Hunter has been dosed by the Scarecrow with a deadly fear toxin, and is now traveling through his greatest nightmare of Gotham City. Will Clown Hunter center himself and strike back at Scarecrow? Or will he succumb to all of his worst fears? Next, we have Catwoman issue number 35, and the synopsis is that the Strays have disabled the Magistrate's communication around Alleytown and have replaced it with their own ramshackle network. Harley Quinn believes Ivy is the key to helping the city, and thus, she and the Gardeners start heading to Alleytown to track down Catwoman and to retrieve Ivy. Next, we have Nightwing, issue number 84, written by the majestic Tom Taylor and the art by Robbie Rodriguez. And this issue comes out on the September 21st, 2021. And when the Bat family receives misleading information and incorrect directions from Oracle, info that Barb herself didn't send, they realize Oracle's systems have been hacked. But who is powerful enough to track into Oracle's own super secure network? And what personal information is now at risk? Next, we have Batman Secret Files, Miracle Marley, issue number 1, written by James Tynion IV, with the art by Danny. On sale September 21st, 2021. Since Miracle Marley's explosive first appearance in the pages of Batman, people have been clamoring to know more about the colorful transhumanist vigilante. Now the wait is over. The history of Gotham's latest breakout star is revealed. It's a story so secret, even Miracle Marley doesn't understand it. Discover what led a regular Gothamite to reject their past name and humanity to embrace the promise of a blank state. The promise of the Unsanity Collective. And it's said that this issue will prove to be an exciting and an integral Fear State special. Next, we have Harley Quinn, issue number 7, same team as before. And this continues Harley Quinn helping to keep peace and security in the alleys of Alleytown, while she maybe wants to go on a camping trip at the same time. So yeah, there's a little fun and mischievousness happening in this issue as well. Next, we have Detective Comics, issue 1043, written by Marika Tamaki and the art by Dan Mora. And this hit shelves on September 28th, 2021. And the synopsis is that Fear State grips Gotham City. When Mayor Nakano's City Hall office finds itself under siege, the only hero who can help the embattled local official is the man Nakano pledged to rid from Gotham itself, Batman. The top vigilante in the city must protect the man who's fought so hard to put an end to masked heroes and an action-packed car chase that culminates in a shocking ending that will give readers nightmares. Plus, how did Red Hood end up in Deb Donovan's apartment? And what the hell gives him the right to eat all of her frosted cereal? As Gotham's troubled son and the city's toughest reporter set out to uncover the mystery of the missing 8A corpses. Because these events will lead to next month's most terrifying new chapter in Gotham's history, Task Force Z. Heading off the month of October, we have Batman issue 114, hitting shelves October 5th, 2021. Batman is racing against time to stop Gotham City from tearing itself apart. As the Scarecrow's long game is revealed, the Dark Knight has bigger problems though, as an insane Peacekeeper 01 is on a murderous rampage through the streets of Gotham. Can Peacekeeper X stop him? Also, Clown Hunter has been dosed with fear toxin at the hands of Scarecrow, and he is living out every moment filled with anxiety and moments of pain and heartbreak. Will Clown Hunter find his way and resume his goal of being Gotham's protector from the clowns? Or will he succumb to Scarecrow's greatest mind game yet? See the end of this epic story that will change Clown Hunter's trajectory in Gotham City forever. Next, we have I Am Batman, issue number 2. Jace Fox is on the streets as Batman, fighting the misinformation and violence flooding Gotham City during Fear State. But what mysterious connection exists between the Magistrate and the next Batman's villain, Archidon? And what Gotham vigilante pays the ultimate price when a misguided young man shoots him down in cold blood? Next, we have Batman Urban Legends, issue number 8. The Fear State tie-ins include the Batwoman story and the Outsider story. Within this comic, there's also an Azrael story and a Professor Pig one. They don't reveal whether or not those are Fear State centric, but hey, the more you know. Next, we have Batman issue 115, and Batman and Miracle Marley are all that stands between Gotham City and absolute insanity. But an unhinged Simon Saint brings all the resources of the Magistrate to bear in the Dark Knight. Is victory at hand for the Scarecrow? Meanwhile, Batgirls Cassandra Cain and Stephanie Brown have each other's backs no matter what, even if it means punching some Magistrate soldier butt and putting on an even bigger target on their backs. Meanwhile, a mysterious anti-Oracle character finally makes contact directly with Barbs and has a few things to say about the unethical nature of Oracle's powers and what they think should be done about it. Next, we have Batman Secret Files Peacekeeper 01, issue number 1, written by James Tynion IV and Ed Brisson, with the art by Joshua Hickson. And this book comes out on October 19th, 2021. And picking up after the events of Fear State Alpha, the book follows Sean Mahoney, aka Peacekeeper 01, in the wake of his exposure to highly potent fear toxin at the hands of the Scarecrow. Now dosed with terror and facing a lifetime of fear and insecurity, Mahoney has found himself frantically reflecting on his past as a GCPD officer, and then as a prison guard at Arkham Asylum, all while desperately attempting to keep his mind from fracturing. Will Peacekeeper 01 give in to the fear, or become terror itself? Next, we have Catwoman issue number 36, and this is about the Gotham City Sirens having a reunion no one saw coming. Meanwhile, the flickering assassin known as the White Witch, flanked by Magistrate soldiers, has arrived to return Ivy to Simon Saint. Harley Quinn and the Gardener join the fight against White Witch and the Magistrate, also featuring Ghostmaker. Nightwing, issue number 85, written by Tom Taylor with the art by Robbie Rodriguez, on sale October 19, 2021. Barbara takes the anti-Oracle attack on her Oracle network personally, and thus she suits up as Batgirl, accompanying Nightwing and Tim Drake to track down who is responsible. But with fear consuming the streets of Gotham, Batgirl and Nightwing accidentally get hit something that reveals their deepest fears, and it involves each other. After that, we have Harley Quinn issue number 8, and it continues Harley's quest to help rescue Poison Ivy from the Magistrate's forces, along with assisting Catwoman and the Gardener. Next, we have Detective Comics issue 1044, written by Mariko Tamaki and the art by Dan Mora, on sale October 26, 2021. When the terrorist organization known as the Red Crown took control of Mayor Nakano's personal security detail, only the Batman could protect Gotham's highest-ranking city official from certain death. But when the pair is thrust into the sewers below, a much more sinister threat lurks in the darkness. Better look sharp, Batman, because 100,000 eggs with 100,000 little monsters inside of them are about to hatch, and they look hungry. Next, we have Task Force Z, written by Matthew Rosenberg with the art by Eddie Burrows. On A-Day, hundreds of Gotham City's most dangerous and deranged criminals were left dead after an attack on Arkham Asylum, and now they're getting a second chance at life. A mysterious benefactor is bringing together a new task force and has recruited the only people who could lead them, someone who knows what it's like to come back from a brutal death, Red Hood. Now Jason Todd has to unravel the mystery surrounding this team of the recently deceased while leading a lineup of some of Gotham City's worst criminals who have ever lived. And this includes Bane, Man-Bat, the Arkham Knight, Sundowner, and Mr. Bloom. And this issue will come out on October 26, 2021. Lastly, we have Batman issues 116 and 117 hitting November. However, there's no artwork out for those issues yet. And also, I would expect another round of tie-ins from the other Batman-related books. And lastly, again, going on speculation here, we're probably going to get an announcement with the news of a Batman Fear State Omega issue in order to serve as a closing chapter for this Batman-centric event. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are the books that will feature that of Fear State. And so tell me, guys, what are your thoughts for Fear State? Are you excited? Are you concerned? Are you already tired and totally wiped out from these yearly Batman events? Also, are you excited for John Ridley's Batman? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I love talking about comics with you guys, so let's continue that conversation here on this majestic channel. But yeah, that about wraps up this video, but if you guys want to keep up tabs with what I have going on here, then hit that like and subscribe button, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and until next time, peace. Giggity goo.